So this third tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the elements of the operative balance point window. And I've actually maximized the screen now so you can't see the Excel tabs up there, so we can see the window better. So the elements that we talked about over here, the first one is the heating and cooling season matrix. And then you have the solar heat gain tabs over here that looks at kBTUs per day and maximum tons. You've got the shading coefficients from overhang projections on this side, and I'll explain what those are. And down the middle over here, you have your building controls. So you can set your east and west axis over here. You can either use the slider bars. You can tap inside here where it makes increments of 10 feet. Or you can manually type over here. So that's 1,000 feet, which we probably don't want. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make it 50 feet by 30 feet. Okay, so that's probably a good residential size. I'm going to make it about 12 feet high, single story. And then you can set your wall U values. So, I'm going to leave those as is, but you can play around with that. If I make that 1, you'll see it actually reduces it because it reduces the overheating. So it allows the building to lose heat. But keep in mind that this is just a passive analysis. I can play around with my thermostat set point. So right now it's set to 78 degrees in the summertime, 68 in the winter time. If I make that, 72 degrees, you'll see there's a lot more heat, overheating of the building. If I make that, 80 degrees, it gets cooler. So basically, I'm able to be comfortable for a longer period of time. I'm just going to leave it at 78 right now. The surface solar azimuth slider bar over here allows you to rotate the shoebox. And so basically, if you set this at 0, it means the south facade is due south. And then I can play around with moving it back and forth. The local time meridian, you're not going to change. It populates this directly from the weather file. These natural ventilation lows and highs and the natural ventilation air changes, they're not fully developed right now, so I don't recommend playing with them. It's going to be in the next version of Chhaya where we have a little bit more. And then you can set your occupant density. So right now the default, it sets it to about 1,000 square feet per person. It's a residential scale. I can move that up to 200, and you can see that actually increases the heat gain inside the building, so it makes it tougher to cool. You need to cool it more. You can set your lighting watts per square foot, equipment and lighting watts per square foot. Let's say, if I have a really equipment heavy building, 4 watts per square foot, that makes it really hot. So the internal heat gain does play a big part in this. And then I can play around with my window wall ratios. So let's say I've got on the south side a 0.5 window wall ratio, glass solar heat gain coefficient of 0.22, U value of, and this is the U value of the entire assembly of, let's make that 0.4. That's a good insulating glass. And I can play around with each of these. If I want to, I can make some of the facades adiabatic. And as you make your facades adiabatic, it makes it harder to lose heat, so it will actually trap more heat, so you'll see greater overheating. So sometimes it's counterintuitive. You assume that reducing external exposure reduces your heat gain, but it also reduces your heat loss. So that's something to keep in mind. On this side of the interface, we actually have, so you have window sections over here. And what this is you can set your window height over here. So I can either push and pull, or I can type over here. I can make that 7, but I can also make it, 70 if I want to. And then on this side, so I'm just going to put it back at 10. On this side, I've got an overhang projection. So as I pull that out, you'll see it actually starts to do some stuff. It's calculating shading. It's actually showing you what times of the year it's shading. And keep in mind, this is a ratio. So if I may, that could be 4 inches to 10 inches or 4 feet to 10 feet. It's the same thing. It's basically calculating that profile angle over there and comparing it to the profile angle that's actually falling on that facade. So just keep in mind that, that's how that one works. And in the next tutorial, I'll go into that in a little bit more detail.